Hi guys, and welcome to the video. So we have another damaged Joy-Con here, and this time it's a blue one. The person who asked me to take a look at this has said basically that it's not working. So they've not really told me what's not working about it. Upon initial inspection, I'm not seeing any marks or anything, so this is going to be an interesting one. We're going to go ahead and test and diagnose this controller right now. So I'm going to connect it all up. Clicks in, it pairs up. So we'll do the test controller buttons. Seems to be most of the buttons are working. The L button seems to be working fine. The ZL button is working okay, actually. It's not too bad. The analog stick seems a little loose. I mean, I don't know whether you can see it here, but if I zoom in here, it seems like it's slightly out of position. It's a little loose. By comparison, if I show you the switch controller we have here, the analog stick is not too bad. It seems well positioned. Let's try a different test. Calibrate control sticks. Go there. Okay, so we've got stick drift there. As you can see, it doesn't really want to reset to center, so that's not good. By comparison, this is what it pretty much should be doing, is just staying nice and central and drifting back to the middle when I release the button, as you can see. Okay, so that's the diagnosis done. We're going to move on to actually taking this thing apart. It's maybe giving under here a bit of a clean. But okay, so we're going to get this thing apart, and for this I'm going to use my trusty screwdriver set. I'm going to be selecting the tri-wing piece, which is a Y2.5. And we're going to get these 4 screws out here. Okay, so we're going to break this open nice and gentle. Be nice and gentle with it. Doesn't need a lot of force. Just find an entry point. Okay, so I've now got it open. We have to obviously remove the battery, which I'm going to do now with my trusty little plastic separator here. Don't use anything metal, you could damage the battery. You get it in underneath there and just lift it by twisting it, and the adhesive should come off fairly easily. They're not massively that well glued in. Try and leave some of the glue in the plastic. Okay, so we've taken that out of the way. With this, we need to undo 2 screws, one here and one here. The screws underneath you don't need to touch, not yet anyway. And there's one down here as well, which you can see. And for that, we're going to use a very, very small Phillips screwdriver bit. And then this piece should lift out without any problems. The button will stay attached, as you can see. And right here, this is the bit that we want to try and sort, and we want to try and get this out. We may have to remove some of these ribbon cables just to get it up and out. Okay, so you need a set of dental picks. These are an absolute lifesaver. They're godsend. They're very sharp, so you know, obviously don't end up hurting yourself. Okay, so the ones we wanted to release, we can leave this one here, okay, but we need to get this one here up, and obviously this one here. We want to get this one here up so we can get to this screw here. So do not, under any circumstances, do not damage the ribbon cable. You want to flick this grey plastic piece up like so, and then you want to use a pair of tweezers. Be very gentle Be very gentle when taking this out. You do not want to damage it. So it should lift out with relative ease. And as you can see there, you've got the screw just there. Okay, so we want to get this analog stick out. Just be careful with this button, it will come loose. Okay, so we want to get in underneath here and do the same thing. Just lift this up. Don't give it any force or anything like that. Okay, so we've flicked that open there. I'm going to pull this to one side and unscrew this screw. Be careful not to damage this ribbon cable, it will really ruin your day. Okay, out comes that screw. And this should lift out. Just be very careful where you're pulling it up. We just want to try and coax this out. See this black thing here? Just coax it in between. And this should just pull out there. Okay, so this is the part we obviously want to focus on. Okay, it's very loose. I can feel it's very loose. You're probably not going to be able to hear this, but it's very crunchy. So I'm not optimistic that this is going to be repairable, this part. So I may have to get a new part. Whilst I'm at it, I'm just going to inspect this button here just to make sure. Well, that seems pretty solid. I don't think there's a problem there at all. That seems fine to me. Okay, so here we have the replacement analog stick. We're going to get this installed into the controller now. Okay, so here's the two screws that mount the analog stick. So we're going to get these loose. We're going to get these off. Okay, so now we've got the analog stick. We're going to first get it seated in, get the ribbon cable seated inside. It's the easiest way I've found to do it. You just have to maneuver it in, making sure that this tab here is in the upward position. So you want to work it in. Just have to be a little bit confident with it. Make sure all these are out of the way. Put that through. Right, so that's down. We'll do a little tug test just to see if it comes out. Okay, so that's in. And we just seat the analog stick through. You sort of have to go in at one angle until you've got some of it through, and then it should sit quite firmly. Okay, so we're going to get this analog stick in place permanently. I want to say permanently with a screw. So that is the analog stick in place. We need to now focus on this ribbon cable here. So again, we're going to lift up this tab. Just like that. And we're going to place this ribbon cable in and seat it in to its connector. And what I do, as you can see, is I just put the pick behind the tab here and here, and that seems to work just fine. We're now going to flick this tab closed using the pick this way, straight over, like that. I just need to make sure we reassemble this button before the rest can go together. Just just pinged off, so be very careful of that. You do not want to lose this spring. Let me just push that down there, make sure that's in. And we want this to go over the top, like so. And that should actually, this wire, as you saw in my last video, should actually sit underneath. So we just want to make sure that that sits not down the side here, but underneath. Okay, and there it goes, and it's in. Okay, so that's in, and we're going to put the 3 screws back in. These are the 3 brass screws. Okay, so that's back together. We are going to install the battery. Still got some adhesive here, which is good. If there's no adhesive there, just get a little bit of double-sided tape, relatively thin thickness. And with the battery, all you need to do is, with the gold side up, just push it in place, and it should just pop right in. So the battery's back in place. I'll zoom out. And we just want to set the battery in place there. Just push down on the adhesive and close the controller back up. Okay, nice healthy little click there. And we're going to be putting the 4 screws back in. Okay, we have the switch here, so we're just going to hook it all up. Recalibrate. So that's now centered, and as you can see, it's returning to center correctly. We now have a fully replaced analog stick for a Nintendo Switch controller. If you like this video, then please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Until the next video, you take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.
I need the silence, stop the violence of the war in my head. Time's the healer, the eraser of all done and said. And as I fall back to my shelter, I know